What events in 2020 and 2021 turned Bitcoin into a treasured asset? Analyzing Bitcoin's price history. Previous analysis of Bitcoin's price made the case that its price was in function of its velocity or its use as a currency for daily transactions and trading. But crypto trading volumes are a fraction of their mainstream counterparts, and Bitcoin never really took off as a medium for daily transaction. This is partly due that the narrative around Bitcoin has changed from a currency to a store of value in which people buy and hold for long periods of time rather than use it for transactions. Which factors influence current Bitcoin price? Institutional investors. Interest from institutional investors is affecting Bitcoin prices. In the past 10 years, Bitcoin has pivoted away from retail investors and now has become an attractive asset class for institutional investors. This is perceived as a desirable development because it brings more liquidity into the market and dampens volatility. Hedge against inflation. The cryptocurrency's most recent rally in 2020 occurred after several respected names in finance spoke approvingly of its potential to develop into a store of value to hedge against inflation from increased government spending during the pandemic. The use of Bitcoin for treasury management at companies also strengthened its price in 2020. MicroStrategy Incorporated and Square Incorporated have both announced commitments to using Bitcoin instead of cash as part of their corporate treasuries. Finding real-world applications using the blockchain technology, such as the altcoin Cardano, working on the security of medical records, or Engine, securing online gaming transactions. These industry developments are the third major influence on Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin's unique underpinnings, which span tech and finance, means that these developments pertain to both industries. What other events influence prices? Bitcoin halving events, in which the total supply of Bitcoin available in the market declines due to a reduction in miner rewards because of an algorithmic change, have also catalyzed recent price increases. The price of Bitcoin since the May 2020 halving has seen an increase of nearly 300%. Previous halving events in 2012 and 2016 produced larger price gains of 8,000 and 600% respectively. Finally, economic instability is another indicator of price changes for Bitcoin. Since its inception, the cryptocurrency has positioned itself as a supranational hedge against local economic instability and government-controlled fiat currency. Country politics affect Bitcoin. Countries like Venezuela have experienced hyperinflation in their currency and have seen huge increases in the use of Bitcoin as a means of transaction as well as storing wealth. This has led analysts to believe that the cryptocurrency's price increases and the global economic turmoil are connected. Another example is when capital controls announced by the Chinese government are generally accompanied by an uptick in the Bitcoin's price. The 2020 pandemic shutdown produced macroeconomic instability on a global scale and galvanized Bitcoin's price, resulting in a record rally. The origins of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital payment system launched in 2009 by a person or a group using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. A network of coders with powerful computers has slowly mined more Bitcoin over time. They do it by running complex computations that adhere to a set of founding principles. This makes Bitcoin a kind of a crowdsourced currency. The market value of all Bitcoin in the world has surpassed the $1 trillion mark, $1,000 billion value, 4 times the market value of McDonald's. A timeline of Bitcoin prices. Speaking of major milestones Bitcoin has hit over the years, here's a quick history of its prices. Bitcoin's network came into existence in 2009 when the first block of Bitcoin was mined on January 3. However, there was no monetary value or market for Bitcoin until at least 2010. In fact, in March 2010, an early adopter attempted to auction 10,000 Bitcoins for $50 total, but couldn't find a buyer. The first real-world Bitcoin transaction occurred in May 2010. 10,000 Bitcoins were used to pay for 2 pizzas, valuing each Bitcoin at a fraction of a cent. Today, the value of this amount of Bitcoin would be nearly $550 million. Bitcoin first crossed the $1 threshold in January 2011, just over a decade ago. The first major surge in Bitcoin popularity occurred in 2013. Prices spiked as high as $1,242 in November of that year before retreating. The second major surge occurred in 2017. The cryptocurrency broke through its previous 2013 high of $1,242 in March, and it reached as high as $19,783 in December of that year before retreating. After 2017, interest in Bitcoin fell for a considerable period. The price bottomed at $3,300 in December 2018 and didn't break through its 2017 high again until November 2020. Bitcoin first crossed the $50,000 threshold in February 2021 and briefly broke through the $60,000 in April. Now here's a disclaimer. As with any new investment, it is important for you to do your research and understand all the risks. Experts say that you shouldn't invest in crypto if it means that you can't meet other financial needs like paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or maxing out other retirement accounts. And just because crypto is new and interesting doesn't mean that you need to invest in it at all. After all, people have been successfully saving and investing for retirement since long before crypto was around. To learn more about the history of Bitcoin prices, go to the article on the website Crypto Nation Network. Here's the link, and enjoy.